Moderna shares more than doubled today after it announced initial results from a study of an experimental cancer treatment that would be the first of its kind if approved by regulators. Moderna, Merck, developing a treatment using the mRNA-based cancer vaccine. Let's bring in Raywat Deonandan. He's a University of Ottawa epidemiologist. I want to talk about how this works, but first of all, Raywat, overall, how big of a deal is this?
Good question. Scientifically, I give this an excitement rating of 8 out of 10. Clinically, it's at a 6 out of 10 because we haven't seen the full data. But the potential here is extraordinary. So this might be a remarkable moment in medical history.
All right. How does mRNA-based cancer vaccine, how does this all work?
Well, remember, there are two kinds of vaccines. The first kind is when you try to prevent someone from getting sick. That's like the measles vaccine, the COVID vaccine. That's what most people think of. Then there's the treatment vaccines that are meant to slow the progression of disease that you already have. That's what this is. So this is not a vaccine to prevent you from getting melanomas or cancers. It's a disease to prevent you from worsening your existing cancer. So it's tested on people who already had a melanoma, who had it surgically removed, to see if we could prevent them from having a recurrence of their disease.
But this platform does provide all sorts of room for growth, does it not?
It really does. So people have been predicting for some time that we're on the verge of an era of personalized medicine. That's what this is. What they did was they found people who had melanomas, who had their tumors surgically removed, and they tested those tumors to find what's called the neoantigens. These are the proteins that differentiate that particular person's cancer cells from their normal cells. And they made an mRNA vaccine specifically for that person's neoantigens. What that did was allow that person's own immune system to essentially identify the cancer cells and to attack them. So that's what this is. This is a new era of personalized medicine. You can foresee that if this pans out the way it looks like it might pan out, that different kinds of cancers and different kinds of diseases will be attacked the same way with an individualized treatment for each person.
You find your biomarkers, and this way your oncologist or whomever is at the other end tailor makes that treatment. Is there a cost on this? Because I'm already finding that in a place like Manitoba, we're not able to catch up and afford a lot of the modern cancer drugs and treatments that are available right now. Do we have a sense of what this could mean for the bottom line of provinces?
This is one of the things that gives me pause about my excitement. I was asked some time ago, like, what do I think is going to be the next defining characteristic of medical innovation? A lot of people are saying it's individualized medicine. I was slow to accept that because of the cost. I think for some pockets of the Western world, it will be accessible. For us in Canada and in, less wealthy parts of the world, maybe it will be slower. I think for much of the world, it might be some decades before they get access to this kind of treatment. But one can cross our fingers and hope that there are mechanisms in place to make this more affordable, if indeed it pans out.
Well, and that's where I think our healthcare system, again, has to shift to more of a wellness model, but to be able to shift that those biomarkers are identified at an earlier age, not just when you get in trouble. This is all part and parcel of what you would do on an annual basis.
Yeah, for something like melanomas, we kind of know how mostly to avoid them, except for some people who are really susceptible. Stay out of the sun, use sunscreen, and check your moles regularly if you do have them so they don't progress to becoming cancers. So we do have some basic public health practices that we can pursue, not just for this disease, but for many diseases. And the more we invest in prevention, the more money we have left over to treat those individuals who actually do get sick.
Raywat, really appreciate you popping on. Thanks so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Raywat